going to go into more crash courses. So what does this mean? You know, a lot of our programs in the past have been short-term, sort of one-off workshops, right? Maybe 1 week to validate. This year, we're going to be looking at more longer-term capacity-building programs for our startups. We're very excited that we're not only focusing on existing startups, as we have been doing with our incubation program, but in our crash courses, we're actually looking at startups all the way at the very beginning, right? Developing their ideas, validating, and seeing them launch into entirely new companies. Our goal at QBO, and actually for the country, this was stated by our government, is to have 1,000 startups in the next couple of years, right? So in order to be able to do that, we can't just be focusing on the startups that are already there. We need to be actively encouraging and developing our startups so that more of them sprout up. So very exciting, the growth pillar. In developing our startups, again, in addition to all of the Q programs that you know and love, we are going to be launching the next iteration of our incubation program. Okay, QBO is stage agnostic, and we're working with partners for each of the different stages, including, of course, the Philippine Stock Exchange we've been mentioning in our videos. We really hope to see exits and big startups coming out, so we're going to be working closely with partners in different verticals to be able to provide that customized, very high-touch support to a select group of startups. Again, one of the biggest things that startups need in order to be able to scale is to get that attention, right? To get customers, to get you guys to talk about them, and to embrace companies that are homegrown. So, as Natasha mentioned, you do have our first batch of incubation startups in those booklets. We hope that you will reach out to us, and we can always kind of knock on your doors also to start talking about our most successful companies as they go through our incubation programs. We're also kind of launching and putting more support behind investment. So this actually the biggest kind of, I think, exposure is like number 2 or number 3, but the number 1 problem being identified by Filipino startups is actually like that they need more funding. They need that capital to be able to grow and scale their companies. So we're launching an investor newsletter. We're going to be sending out like more profiles of startups, right, so that they get a lot more visibility, and that potential investors know that there are amazing companies are bankable here in the Philippines. It's just a matter of, again, people knowing more about it. And last but not the least, exposure. Again, we're going to try to hit more countries this year. Our delegations have been very successful. You know, whenever the Filipinos get the chance to compete internationally, they win prizes, they amaze people, they get tons of inquiries, right? So we're going to double down on this effort. You know, again, we're always picking the best of the best startups to participate in these delegations. We really hope people hear more about them, and we encourage people to, visit our booths, check out our startups, and see what we have going on. And last but not the least, in collaboration. So again, our work is not just about working with individual startups and helping them grow. It's also about developing the organizations and the infrastructure around helping startups to succeed. That's why our model with a public-private collaboration has been, such a key element to what we do. So in addition to supporting the startups, as Natasha mentioned, we are still embarking on our TBI 4.0 program. That also includes supporting the development of other incubators outside of the DOST network, right? So, whether you're a university or a company or, any other organization that wants to set up, better infrastructure to support companies and innovators, we are working very actively now with several organizations to make this happen. And our hope is that, while our QBO is small, we will have a presence all around the Philippines, right? And we'll be able to deploy a lot of content and programs by working with other incubators and organizations to support this cause. We're also working a lot more with corporates. So, of course, in the Philippines, the big money is in the big corporations also. It's very important that we get their buy-in and their support to be able to really help our startups scale, find customers, get their products and their messages out there. So again, we'll be hearing more about this in the coming months, but we're looking forward to announcing a lot more collaborations with traditional companies, because starting up is, we're not against like working with the traditional guys, right? And we want to bring them together and collaborate with them as well. And then of course, our favorite program, and something to look forward to. We had, again, 6-8 weeks last time to organize it, but now we have a full year, and we already have the go signal for Philippine Startup Week 2020. So that's for sure going to happen. Of course, dates to be announced, but I'm very confident it's going to be bigger and better than ever. This is really our opportunity to highlight and showcase everything that's happened in the Philippine startup ecosystem, how dramatically it's grown even just in the past few years, right? And 2020 is going to be our decade. 2020 is going to be our year, and we're very, very, very excited that we're going to have this again. So that's basically the new things to look forward to, at least as of today. This is a constantly evolving list, and we will be speaking again. But essentially, I guess I have kind of 2 calls to action or something. Right? I hope we can all work together. First, in real life, right? So I'm very glad that you guys showed up for our little lunch gathering. I hope we can do this more often. I would like for all of us to sort of be friends with the cuties and you guys, and maybe the cuties here, if you could stand up or raise your hand. So these are the people, the cuties running the different programs for the startup. So please do feel free to reach out to us, to talk to us about any of the programs. Please do attend some of these things. They're usually free, almost always there's food, right, for nothing else, and hang out and learn more about our startups, right? So, and the founders and the people behind them. Because these are real guys, these are actual Pinoys working on companies, and some of them are doing really interesting things. So I hope we get to hang out more often and that we see you at more of our events and programs. Of course, you guys are the media, so I have to say this, right? Our goal also is to make it viral, right? We want to bring these messages, all of these good programs that are happening, all of the work that our startups are doing. We want to be able to bring it to the world. We want to make it mainstream. Starting up shouldn't just be something that's exclusive to, the nerds in their garage doing it quietly. We need to make it mainstream. We need to spread the word that cool stuff is going on. And that's really going to help snowball and make our ecosystem as big as it needs to be. So, please, write about us, but you don't have to. More importantly, talk about our startups. And use our startups products. Tell people that it's okay, being a Pinoy startup is a good thing, right? And talk about our ecosystem, because we need more positive messages out there about what's going on, because that's the reality. I think most of the time when we hear about things, it's, that you feed weird news, right? But there's so much good news happening in our ecosystem, and I hope you'll be our partners in telling the world about this. So, yeah, we're putting in a lot. We've laid the foundation last year for what can be a very strong startup ecosystem, but I know that, we're gonna see our unicorns. We're gonna have a strong ecosystem. We're gonna have hundreds of startups, thousands of startups, and that they're gonna be changing our lives, solving problems for our people, changing the world. And our big vision at QBO, again, is Philippine startups changing the world. And the reason we're called QBO is because even from humble beginnings, through bayanihan, through working together, by going on the same direction and lifting the burden, right, we can create something super awesome. So let's do that. Please join us. Please eat more food. But that's it, really. Thank you very much. Please connect with us on all our channels. See you again.
Thank you, Matt. Let's stay here for, we actually have raffles too. So